All right, here we go. So today we're going to be using a couple weights in some of our movement patterns, but also in this position, they're often nicely inserted here for wrists. So depending on if you're using balls or hand weights, sometimes people do like putting their hands on there. It creates a little different angle in the wrist. So if that's something that you would like to explore, just know you can bring those in and out of the movements anytime today. So coming onto your hands and knees, if your hands are on the mat, stretch those fingers nice and wide for me. Good. All right, so we're just going to start a little rock side to side. And part of our goal here is to keep the weight forward, right? So we're really looking to put some positive stress into the wrists and forearms and start waking up that tissue. That might feel like hard taffy in there as we start. So we got to get it moving, get it more malleable. And then why don't we take that in a circular fashion? Now, in going in the circular fashion, can you feel how the hips are now getting involved? So you can really stretch one hip to each side and start warming up into the hips. And then go the other way. One more this way. And then coming back to center. Tuck those toes under behind you and just, it's little bounces back. So it's a little piece to stretch out the feet. Now, if you've had some surgeries in those toes and bunions, you may just opt out of this for a minute, right? Or do the foot that is possible. Sometimes toes don't bend like this anymore. 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. Untuck those toes. Now we're going to lift one knee off and just balance on our little tripod here. And then lift the other knee off. And other side. And other side. Now the leg you're lifting, can it come higher? And lift higher. So it's not just the rock, but it's also the lift. Abs are drawing in and up. All right, 2 more. So we warmed up here, wrist, hips, feet, and come to center. Now let's go for the spine, tucking the tail under and round that back. Try to give extra attention to your lower back here. And then tip that tail to the ceiling and let the chest reach forward. Ooh. So now we find a low back arch. Tip that tailbone down, round the low back. Try not to go crazy on the upper back. Can you try to stay in that lower back? Tail tips up, chest reaches forward. And tailbone tips, scoop and come under. And one more time, tailbone goes up. Now that tail is up in the air and we're gonna wag it side to side like a really happy puppy dog. So wag your tail side to side. We're doing this to, right, mobilize the pelvis. Those joints there in your lower back, your SI joints, keep them moving. Now go slower, because I don't want you to be dizzy, and you're gonna look over your shoulder at that tail. Look over. So if it wags to the right, you look over the right. Now, if you were thinking from an aerial point of view, you could see how your spine was making the shape of a C, and then the other way, go. And then finding our way back to center. Now just go ahead and sit back into your child's pose. Reach those fingers forward. This just gets you off of those hands for a moment. And then we're going to place the elbows down. So hands are down, forearms are down, elbows are down. Now we're just going to rock our weight forward. Touch our nose if you can, and then rock your weight back. Forward, touch your nose, and back. Forward, touch the nose, and back. And touch, and back. And touch, and back. 2 more. Touch, and back. And stay forward, keep that nose right there, keep touching. It's just got a little bitty hover. 3, 2, 1, and come off. Flip your palms up, down, up, down, up, down. So we're just rotating. We could think palms and forearms face up, palms and forearms face down, up, down, up, down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift those elbows up, coming back onto your hands and knees. All right, so our goal here is to keep our spine quite steady. Okay, so now if we're using those core muscles for stability, you wouldn't see me doing all these shapes, right? So I'm going to think of engaging. You know, often it's referred to as the corset, but you have to consider when Pilates started, right? I know none of us wear corsets anymore, but we can imagine that feeling if our clothes just kept getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, scooping us in. We're going to extend one leg behind us. You may pick. And then we're going to set that knee back down under the hip. I'm going to draw everything in to support me and extend the other leg out. And coming in. Good. We're going to alternate. Keep going. Legs only. Reach through those toes. And then keep in mind, right? We want the skill set to be dynamic, to be able to move quickly, to be able to move slowly. We also want our muscles to be able to stabilize and support us when that's needed. So here is a time where we're looking for our trunk to support us, and we're just moving from the hip joint, not the spine. Now that becomes really important because if you lose these skills, I'm going to do it wrong here once. You'll notice that people start using their spine to lift their leg, but that's not the job of my low back. It's the job of my glutes. So I don't want to lose that posterior and then come to center. Now, can you extend one arm out in front of you and try to stay steady? I'm shaking. And then put that hand down. Extend the other arm out. Ooh, try to stay steady. You can hear it in my voice. This is work. Now, if I were to rock back and forth, it wouldn't feel like as much work. Lifting that opposite. And down. Silly how much work this is, quite frankly. Another arm out. Keep an arm out there. Extend the opposite leg. Woo! If you weren't shaking before, you should be now. And then everything comes back in. And then go with the arm first. Then extend the opposite leg. Woo! And come back. And now arm first. And extend the opposite leg, holding yourself really sturdy in the center. And last one, arm out, extend the opposite leg. And coming back. Great. Go ahead and come off of your wrist. You can even give them a little bit of a twirl there, or shake them out. All right, so we're going to come seated. I'm just making a little adjustment here. Here we go. To bring you guys up a little bit. All right, much better. Okay, so we are going to, let's see, for cueing purposes, let's have everybody take their legs over to the left side. So we actually look like we're mirroring each other here. Good. So that leg that wraps around, we're going to take the opposite hand to the floor and just take that body into a quick side bend. We have not had this shape quite exact. And then up we come. We're going to rotate to that leg. Try to stay tall in this. So I twist it over, but I'm trying to stay tall. And then coming out of the twist, hand and elbow can lower down, big stretch. Reach those fingers, get them out there. Oh, that feels good. And now rotate to bring that arm to the floor. So there's another twist, stay long. Opening back out. Push into that hand on the floor. We'll go up and over, rotation one more time. Ooh. Get tall, get tall. As my head swoop down. And then coming back to center. Now you're going to lower into that elbow. So we're going to stay in this little side position.
that back leg is going to reach out. I know how this goes, folks. Sometimes the art of lifting this leg 1 inch is all we've got. So let's see, draw in and up. Feel those abdominals gather in and up, and then lift that leg. Notice what I'm trying to maintain is from all the way down here at the base of my shirt, right up through the crown of my head, I'm not moving. Because this could look very different. To get a leg up, people do things like this. So just try to get the leg off the floor. Even if that's just this essence, right? The thought of lifting will create what I'm asking for. Woo! Since you have a free hand, are you feeling it? Give me a thumbs up for those of you who are live now. Everyone's there. Real quick. Keep that leg lifted. Bend the knee, straighten the leg. Bend, straighten. Can you bend and reach through your heel? Straighten, reach through your toes. So I flex and point. Flex and point. Flex and point. 2 more. Last one, stay pointed. Take that upper arm up, stay right there, and I'll place that leg down. I'm pushing the arch of my foot into the mat. Great. So I'm going to push into this lower arm. I'm going to lift my butt and lift my butt. And I'm thinking about my hips traveling forward towards all of you. So I go slightly forward, up and forward. So just getting some work in here for this lower shoulder. Last 2. And last 1. Staying here. Bring your hand behind your head or in your salute position. So from here, you're going to bend and turn. Reach back out. Touch and turn. Reach back out. Touch. Reach back out. Touch. Reach back out. 1 more. Touch. Reach back out. And take that leg back to bend and press yourself on. Take that arm across the body. Give yourself a little stretch. Some of you might be thinking you just want this hip out of this position because it's still work. All right, swing those legs to the other side for me. Right, we're first starting with the stretch. So get into that big side bend. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. See, that feels quite nice on that shoulder too. That's just working. And then pushing up. We're going to rotate to that leg, trying to stay tall. Ooh, this side's always challenging for me. And then up and over, we'll go right back into that first stretch. Rotate if you can. You can always tell which side is tighter, right? When you can't get your elbow down, you can't get it down. What do? You breathe. Oh, there we go on that second breath. And then pushing up and over. 1 more time, rotate to that leg. Try to get tall. And then coming back to center, we're going to slide right down onto that elbow. And we're going to lengthen out that back leg. Arm up. Good. So from here, remember, we're trying to stay long all the way up and not feel a lot of fluctuation as we start to lift and lift. Keeping those hips forward. I'm pressing into the mat, keeping my body nice and strong right through my chest. Oh yeah, can feel that side already. So keep pressing that elbow down, thinking wide through the collarbones. Keep the leg lifted. We're going to bend, straighten, and here's where we flexed and pointed. So heel to the back wall, reach the toes. Point. Nice work. 3, 2. Last one. Reach that leg out there. Keep stretching it. Keep stretching it. And lower the leg down. Can you place this hand behind your head or in salute? Draw it up. Reach out. Now notice I turn to my leg, and then I turn back open to all of you. reach, reach. Four, three, two, and one. Reach out, set that foot down. Great. We're going to press those hips up here. So pick them up, put them down. Pick them up, put them down. Remember, they're going slightly forward. You're thinking of opening this hip, up and down. Two more, up, down. Last one, up, down. Bend that leg, press yourself up. Good, bring that over across the body. Give yourself a little stretch. Excellent. We're going to take both hands behind us, legs in front. Widen them up. We're just going to go into our quick side to side here. Ooh, yeah, nice mobility option here for those hips. One more each way. And then coming to center, walk those feet together and extend them out in front of you. So I've got my hands behind me. Fingers are stretched open. I'm going to bend my right knee. Now I'm bending the knee because I do want a little assistance personally as I get started. If you want to go both legs straight right out of the gate, you certainly can. So we can all navigate between one or both knees. So I'm going to push into the foot that's on the floor and lift my hips up. So you can see how it makes a bit of a difference, right? Having one of your feet closer to your touch. And then I just want you to play with how wide do you need your arms. Can you let your chest and eyes look up at the ceiling? When your hips go up, can you lengthen out? One more here. And lower down. Some of you might have not realized that it was going to be hamstring, inner thigh as addition to everything else. Switch legs. Here we go. Press up, look up. Press up, look up. Press up, look up. Two more. Press up, look up. One more. And down we come. Straighten both legs out. Okay, we'll give it a go with both. Otherwise, bend one. Press up, look up. Press up, look up. Good. Press up, look up. One more. Press up, look up. And hips come down. Just slowly walk those hands in. Nice job. If you feel some interior shoulder tomorrow, you can certainly blame that. All right, so we're going to go into forearms this way. So notice, to be in this position, we really needed what we just did, right? Because if we're tight, we're going to be like this, like a turtle pulling its head into its shell. We're going to push down and open our chest. Excellent. Legs are going to go straight. So I'm just going to put my hands onto the mat. But again, can you look my way? Here's where I don't want you. Here's where I want you. Not here, here. So push down. All right, we're going to simply lift one leg up and set it down. Lift the other one up, set it down. And I'm thinking very long thoughts through the crown of my head. And that leg's coming up and down, using those lower abs. Just finding the connection. I understand we're going to feel like, well, I'm moving my leg. I feel my legs. Yeah, me too. But I want you to start after a few reps of feeling that connection through inner thighs, pelvic floor, low abs. One more here. And then take your right leg to tabletop. And then your left leg to tabletop. If you have to lower down and lay on your back, you can. Right leg goes straight, and I get it really close to the floor, but don't touch. And then switch, and switch. This is where it's going to become challenging to keep your turtle shell from taking over your neck. Keep pushing down. Reach, 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 reach. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Both legs out. Keep your chest open and bring them back in. Both legs out. Keep the chest open and bring them back in. 2 more. Legs out and in. Last one. Legs out. Keep them there for me. Take your left hand off of the mat and roll onto your side. Oh, I did good. I wanted you to come to me. I had to think that through. Okay, when we go on our back, you're gonna bring your legs to tabletop. Legs shoot out, pick up your other arm and roll. And back in. Other side roll. Notice how I let this bottom hand come forward, right? Don't keep it under your body. That would be awkward. And then back under. Here we go, we're speeding it up. Roll and abs draw in. Roll, abs draw in. Roll, abs draw in. Roll. Now I'm going to change it. When we get to this position, if you're able, keep your legs straight. So we roll. You either go straight or bent legs. And roll. Straight or bent legs. And roll. Straight or bent legs. One more time to me. One more time away from me. And then you'll come to center. Tabletop legs. And lower them down. Slide them right out. Hands. Push into them. And then lower back to your elbows. Push into your hands. Lift up. Lower back down. The goal is to try to lower smoothly and to have both arms touch at the same time. You're going to notice you're going to favor one probably in the first few. Down and up. Now go down, but get real close without setting them down. Whew. You're going to feel a lot of abs. Woo. Elbows are almost touching, but not quite. 3, 2, 1, push up. Lower back down. Elbows, you get them to a working spot and then hold. 4, 3, shaking, 2, 1, push up. Last one, lower down. Cover those legs if you want. 4, 3, 2, 1, slide down. Oh, some of you might have felt those abs kick in quite nicely. Okay, so we're going to use one of our weights. So grab hold of one. All right. So we're going to go, let's take the weight into the right hand. And left hand will offer some support to the head. And some of you would have felt it in that previous series on our forearms. You got to hold your head up, right? So your head should have felt like, wow, I'm getting tired there. Yep, it was holding itself up. So that's good. We're working on strengthening the back of the neck. So in this position now, we're going to take our bodies up into the mini sit-up. And that's going to essentially take the ball closer to the sky. Good. So in this position is where we're going to start drawing circles on the ceiling or up into the clouds. Although that looks like a pretty blue sky today. Big circles around. And then go the other way. And just feeling how different parts of your abdomen turn on to keep you steady against the weight. And when we get around over to that right side, we're going to stay. There we go. So we're going to go left leg into tabletop. Right leg out to hover. You're going to bring the knee in, touch it with the weight, and then send the leg out, reach the weight to the side. Bend it in, reach it out. Now your right leg could always stay on the floor, folks. So here I'm demoing, keeping my right foot on the mat. If you don't need it, then leave it out there straight. There's so many great options here. So we touch and reach, touch and reach. 2 more. Last one. And bend the knees. Goodness gracious, killing myself. Hands behind your head. We're switching the weight to the left. So we go up into our float, reaching that ball towards the sky, and then start going into your circles. And again, you can just feel how your abdominal muscles kind of working around the clock effect, right? Depending on where that weight is, it affects what kicks in. Go the other way. Ooh. And then keep it out to your left side. Draw that right leg to tabletop. And then you may choose if you want your left out or not. You're going to touch and reach. Touch and reach. Touch and reach. Touch and reach. 3 to go. Touch, reach. 2 more. Touch, reach. Last one. Touch, reach. Draw everything in. And go ahead and stretch your legs out. Stretch your arms overhead. Oh, wowzers. And we can blame that for our upper abs being sore tomorrow. We're going to know just where everything came from come tomorrow. All right, the weight, if it works for you, is going to go between your knees. If you don't have something that works in that capacity, it's all right. Just omit it. The other thing is sometimes if people have a hand weight, they just wrap like that, their hand towel around it and then put it between their knees. So be creative. Get up and grab something if you need to. All right. So we are going to stay all the way down in neutral. Arms are at our sides. Palms are open to the sky. Okie dokie, here we go. Now I'm going to exaggerate this for a minute. And you're going to take your low back down and then away. So here is kind of that cat-cow again, right? You tuck the tail and then you reach the tail to the sky. So feel this and feel how we're moving beyond neutral one way and beyond neutral another. And then find the center. So you feel like you're kind of in a happy medium. Now my goal is to maintain that, if possible. So take a breath in. And as you exhale, start thinking of everything shrinking around your midsection. And could you keep your spine in the same exact spot and lift your legs to tabletop? It's amazingly hard when you do it well. Now you're going to lower, don't let your back change. And bring it up. And down. Be mindful if you want to hold your breath and don't. Let that exhale help you contract. To the top. Now let your legs rock over to one side, taking one cheek a little lighter to the mat. And now from here, lower the tabletop down and pick it up. Lower down, pick it up. Lower down, pick it up. Don't let that belly pop up. One more. And then up we come over to the other side. Let that other side of the butt lift. And I just drop my tabletop down, pick it up. Keep drawing that navel toward the spine, not wanting to let the belly pop in the low back arch. 2 more. Last one. And to the center we come, dropping the feet down. We're going to press those hips up to the sky. Many of you will feel a very nice stretch right here. That was just working. These flex your hips, hip flexors. So this is a great little stretch for them. And then let's bring the spine back down. Good. Pressing up. And you'll lower that spine as a unit if necessary. Otherwise, go bone by bone. And one more up to the top. We're just gonna lower the hips a little, squeeze the buns to pick the hips back up. Down, up, down, up. Now quick check in. I want you to imagine you have a pencil under each cheek, not a pencil between your buns. So I need you to think of each pencil underneath the buns that you're squeezing, not creating a unibund by squeezing that pencil between the cheeks. 4, 3, 2, up at the top you go, little pulses, press, press, find those 2 pencils. 4, 3, 2, 1, and taking the spine down. Both hands will come behind the head. So we've got double support. Chest is gonna rise to the sky. Draw those legs to tabletop. Excellent, stay right there, take a breath in. And as you exhale, lower those legs. So it's right where we were before. Now we just have the mini sit-up involved. So can we keep our spine in this exact shape and just move the legs? Last 2. So it's that little flow to the chest, right? Just enough to stimulate the upper abs. Now go straight legs. Straight legs. Don't let that belly pop up. Suck it in, legs go up. Suck it in, legs go up. 2 more. Last one. And feet lower and coming down. Go ahead and take the ball out. And why don't you roll to face me? We'll roll to face one another. Oh boy, we're gonna get real comfy here. This arm's going underneath the head, knees are bent. Oh. All right, take that weight. Oh boy, my mat has a bunch of sweat on it. Take that weight, and we're gonna go into what looks like simple rotations. We all know it'll catch up with us here in a minute. So we're just visualizing how that shoulder blade is moving on our back. When the ball comes up, my shoulder blade squeezes to my spine. Now we're going to add the lower body in at the same time. So we're going to open, close, open, close. And notice again, I'm trying to keep my trunk facing all of you. I don't want to roll backwards. I'm opening, but not rolling. Last 3, 2, stay open. The leg is going to change. You're going to pick that bent knee up as high as you can and bring it back down. Don't rest it. Back up as high as you can, keeping that knee bent. Bring it back down, but don't rest it. Up it goes. Commit where that arm is. Last one, keep that leg up. Now stretch it out. Get it up there as high as you can, little pulse. Pulse, pulse, pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend it. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Close it. Bring the arm down, both open. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty, instead of going back to back, let's turn around. Well, let's get over to the other side. Unless you're very confident, don't need to see me, only hear me. Cozy. I am sticky. All right, let's start with just the arm, just to make sure we're in a good position. And remember, we're thinking shoulder blade. So you kind of have to get your head in the game here to feel your upper back working. So you're not just flinging your arm around. One more, and then let's add the leg. Great job. 3, 2, stay open with the arm. Now lift that leg. It's bent,
but it's high. Bring it down, but don't relax it. Back up, down, up, down, up, down. 2 more, up, down, hips to me, up, reach it long, keep your hips to me. Good, take it up there, pulse, 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 pulse. 4, 3, 2, keep it up there, bend, down, up, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the leg, arm down, both together for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Done. All right, this can be set aside. You're gonna roll right over onto your stomach. Let's go up onto the forearms to start. So we've been up in this position a few times. Now, there are a couple of you live I know that do better if you go all the way down, and that's fine. Just lower down and just follow the leg choreography, okay? So I'm gonna place my hands together just to give a little pressure between them. And I'm gonna, again, opening that chest, right? There's my focus, that I don't wanna collapse down. I'm gonna push to open. And from here, we're gonna pulse one heel in 2 times, and then stretch the leg long. So we go 1, 2, and reach. Pulse, pulse, and reach. Pulse, pulse, and reach. Hopefully feeling a nice stretch through the front of your thighs. Pulse, pulse, and reach. Working those back leg muscles. It's the hamstring in the butt. Pull, pull, reach. Pull, pull, reach. Pull, pull, reach. Okay, brain food. The leg that's doing the pull, pull, you're going to turn to look at it. Pull, pull, reach. Pull, pull, reach. Pull, pull, reach. Pull, pull, reach. Last 2. Last 1. Done. Double legs. Pulse, pulse, reach. Try to lift your thighs off of the mat. Pulse, pulse, reach. Lift the legs. Pulse, pulse, reach. Lift the legs. Pulse, pulse, reach. Pulse, pulse, reach. Feel those hamstrings, I bet. And reach. Last 1. And reach. Lower the legs down. Walk those arms out wide and lower your forehead and chest. So I just have my upper body in that cactus position, just meaning my elbows are going straight out from my armpits, and then my hands are just above my forehead. And I'm gonna put my forehead down. Okay, so what I would like you to do is lift up your right arm and just rotate like you're looking under it. So when you do that, you're gonna peek and see me. I'm gonna peek and see you. Awesome, and then we just roll right back. And now lift the other arm, peek under. So I'm just rocking through my upper back and rotating my neck. I leave my head down. My hips stay square though, so my butt isn't rocking side to side, just my upper back and my neck. One more, look at me. Stay right there. So we're looking at each other. You're gonna reach that arm out and bring it back. Reach it out, bring it back. Reach it out, bring it back. Last one, reach it out, bring it back. Oh, lower down. Look underneath the other arm. Reach it up, bring it back. Reach it up, bring it back. Reach it up, bring it back. One more. Reach it up, bring it back, and set it down. Oh my. Okay, lift your arm closest to me, look under. Now the arm that's behind us, stretch that out overhead. You can't quite see mine, I know, but it's all the way out there now. Now I'm looking underneath this arm, and when I stretch that one out, it's gonna allow me to roll onto that side. Notice how this foot stayed in front, right? I didn't stack my feet. I just kept them where they were. All right, and then I roll back. And I'm gonna roll over. So I can blatantly feel I'm pushing into that foot closest to you.
to help me roll over, no problem. And now I'm just gonna ask myself if I could stop pushing so hard into my foot. So I'm gonna lift my arm and I'm gonna think of using my back muscles. And now when I'm like, oh, I can't quite go any further, now I'm gonna gently push into my leg only to help as needed. And then when I go back, I'm gonna try to go hips first and then spine. So can you rotate, open the spine, try to keep your hips on the floor, and then go into sideline. Get your hips back, and then roll all the way. Final one. Rotate the spine, and then the hips. Stay here with me. Stretch that top arm out. Take that top leg up and down. And it's in front of the other, so it's a different sensation. If you must bend this arm, you could. That helps balance. Keeping that arm straight makes it harder. You can probably feel that. 4, 3, 2, keep your abs pulled in. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the leg. Hips down and spine down. Beautiful. Bring both arms back to the cactus shape. Stretch the other arm out. And we're going to start our rotation. So peek under the other arm and then push into the leg as needed to get onto your side. And then back over we go. So those first few, just let your body use your legs as you need to. And just enjoy the freedom of the rolling. And push. We often notice how one side is harder. And then come in. Now let's try to isolate the spine. I'll do the first one with you, then I'm going to take a peek at those of you here right now. And you're going to open, and I'm trying to keep my hips down to the best of my ability, and then I'll come into sideline. Then I want to let my hips go first, and then roll back into my spine. So try to let your spine go first, then let your hips follow. Now try to get your hips back on the mat, but not your chest. And then the chest. So can you open the chest to me? I suppose some of you are going away from me, I apologize. Then open the hips. But now get your hips down. Do not collapse your chest on the mat. Get your hips over. Keep your chest where it's at. Then let your chest go. One more. Awesome. Stop in side lying. Take that top leg up and down. Lifting that front leg. So again, notice how it's in front of the other leg, which changes the challenge. Your bottom arm could be bent if you need more stability. Otherwise, keep that sucker straight. Make it really hard. Good. 4, 3, stay at the top real tight. 2, 1. Roll hips back down, then chest back down, and all the way on your tummy. Yes. All right. Kick back into child's pose. Some of you will be in a much appreciative state for stretching your low back here in a minute. Surrender, right? This is the surrender position. Let one arm dive underneath to thread the needle. Make sure that other arm is actively reaching forward. This is when I wish one of you each could hold my hands and pull me in each of these directions. Give me that massive twist. Yes. Now the arm that's out in front of you, I want you just to walk your fingers like there's a rainbow you're tracing. So make a big arch up and over, and just feel the different stretches as you go up and over the rainbow. And then bringing it straight out ahead, you're gonna swap arms, dive underneath. And then play with that positioning of your reach down arm. If you bring it up and over the rainbow, you're just going to get that much more of a stretch through your side. Oh. And then both arms can come back out in front of you. So you're going to come up onto your hands and knees here is where we're going to kind of finish our upper level aspects, and then we'll go woo, right down into our release. Okay? So hands are going to come out underneath. We're going to lift those knees off of the floor and step back to plank. So from this position, you're going to pike your hips up, looking at the chest, or sorry, chest to the thighs, looking at the knees, and then transition back to plank. And you're long here. Firm. Press those hips up, reach that chest towards your thighs, and then transition long and firm. Hiking up. Now bend one knee and reach the other heel down and switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. Just enjoying the stretch in the back. This could get interesting. My feet are on my rug, not my mat. We'll see how dynamic I can be here. 3, 2, 1, plank it is. We are going to lower down, and I encourage you to drop to your knees if you need to. From this position, we're going to press up into your extension and glide down. Wow, that feels good. Tuck your toes under, and you're going to push into your arms. Go to your knees if you need to. That's what I'm showing first. And then from that position, I find my way back to plank. If you can push right up to plank, go for it. Plank up. Plank. Lower down. Press up into extension. Lower down. Tuck your toes under. Lift to your knees and hands, or right up to plank. Plank up. Walk your feet in if you need to. Back to plank. Lower down. Press up. And back down. Find your way back to plank. Hike up. We're going one more time through, everyone. Plank. Lower down. Use your knees if you need to. Press up. Lower down. Make your way back to plank, using your knees if you need to. And pike up. Awesome sauce. Drop those knees down and walk those hands back. Woo! Who's nice and warm? All right. So here's what I would love for you to do. I want you to come up onto your feet. We're just going to do a little bit opposite of the body work for the brain, and then we'll go into our release. So up, down here. Okay, so keeping it really simple here. My goodness, look at, I'm just like sticky as could be. Whew. How are you doing outside there for those of you out there? Mercy. All right, so arms out. Ooh, do we all feel like really buff after that? I mean, come on. That was good stuff. You're going to tap your opposite knee, then the other. Now notice what's happening with my arms. I'm in the cactus position. We were here on our tummies. And I'm keeping one arm where it's at. Meaning sometimes clients start doing this. So keep one arm there. Good. We'll do brain speed cards on Thursday. Good. Last four. 3, 2, 1. Done. Let your arms just come down by your sides. Find a comfortable stance in your feet. And we're just going to let that neck circle around. I'm really proud of you because I know that that work is not easy. And oftentimes when we feel our neck muscles working, it feels uncomfortable. It feels almost unsettling. You're like, oh, I feel my neck. But just like any other muscle group, right? How do we get stronger there without feeling it? Go the other way. So we did a handful of things today that allowed you to safely work your neck But I still recognize some of you would feel like, ooh, I felt my neck, and I would expect that. So please don't be alarmed by it if that's what you were feeling. And then as you come up to center, you'll take one arm, and you're just gonna think of gently drawing your ear towards your shoulder. Remember, we want this arm to feel loose. It'll sometimes kind of jack up with us if we're pulling too much. And then I just slightly release the pressure, and I'm going to turn my chin to my underarm, and I'm going to pull at that angle. Letting that arm still feel nice and heavy. And then a soft release of the arm. And then draw the head back to center. Take the other arm up and over. First stop is ear to shoulder. And then check in with that loose arm. And then just alleviate that assist a little bit, chin to underarm, and then add the assist back in. Keeping that arm nice and loose. And soft release. Good. And then just go side to side, nice and easy. So I want to invite you down onto your mat in a comfortable position. So you're going to make your way back down. You could also be seated in a chair for this one today. So if that feels comfortable and you want to sit and just have your arms open, you could do that. All right. Oh, yes. So some of you that I can see, right? Put your socks back on, get your fleece on. If any of you know Teacher Terry, she likes like 100 layers. So she's like practically putting on an Afghan over her fleece right now. We are much the opposite in that department. I'm a complete hot bod. All right. I too shall meet you here. So let those arms open out to the sides, palms are towards the sky. And if it's comfortable for you to start stretching your legs out, by all means do so. And we're going to start taking some very intentional breaths into our belly. So our goal is on the inhale to let our stomach get as big as possible. As the diaphragm is filling up, we're letting it just push our internal organs forward and up. And then exhale, everything will sink back into place as our diaphragm comes up into the chest cavity. So inhale, filling the tummy. And I will say, I like doing this with my hands on my stomach sometimes too, because I really like to feel it moving and I need almost something to breathe into. So if you want to try it that way, please do. And no different, right? If you're seated, the tummy just goes out, whether it's up or out. Start to slow the breath down, still keeping the abdomen filling and emptying through the mouth, letting the belly fall, but try to slow the breath down. And as you come to just more of a natural breath, I want you to start from the bottom of your body, as if there was just a wave of energy, sometimes easier just to see it purely as light. Could you feel that a bright, white, sun-kissed sunbeam, right? Think of how that feels when it hits your feet and it starts coming up the legs, passing the knees, the thighs, the hips, and right up the spine. Just feel that amazing energy. Just spinning all around you. It comes up the fingers and the arms, and then up to the neck. And wrapping around the scalp. Just feeling that whole body enveloped. It can be a bit of that feeling as if you're just floating in water, right? Your face is exposed, you freely can breathe, and then your body is just supported by the water. So just feel the lightness. And you can play with those two visuals of it literally being the light or the floating in water. And allow your muscles to just be. Now take a really strong breath through the nose and exhale firmly. Last one. Inhale strongly through the nose. Exhale, let it go. As you're coming back to more natural breath, just letting your body feel at rest. Giving yourself that moment, whether it be a word or a phrase that just settles on your heart today. And we know sometimes it's something we need, and sometimes it's something we have to give. You can bend one knee, helping yourself to roll to a side. Just give yourself a couple more breaths here. And start to open those eyes. I hope everybody has a really nice day. It's very beautiful outside. And if you need me for anything, I'm here. You know how to find me. Mwah.
Have a good day, everybody.